Welcome to Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails. It is December 2nd. We hunted yesterday. We went up to the scrape tree just up the valley from where we're at here at the building, and it made sense at the time. Obviously we didn't see any deer. I'd be more excited about telling you the story. We would have shown you the episode actually. We didn't see a thing. We didn't even see any squirrels, which was really weird. So we're gonna change strategy here today. We're gonna go to the open gate, and this is a kind of a roll of the dice, you could probably call it, because it doesn't really set up well for any certain wind. Maybe an east wind, but there's no east wind coming anytime soon. And at the end of this week we get into the Iowa firearm season, and that's, you know, that takes up about little over 2 weeks. So it's going to be a while before we can get back to it. So we're going to go ahead, like I said, roll the dice on this one just a little bit. It's a straight north wind. You know, who knows? I don't know. The deer could come from any direction, but we did get, I got stealth cam photos from last night that showed that even though the scrape tree plot was dead, right above it, on the ridge above, at the open gate, there was quite a few deer moving in daylight, including one, I call him a mature buck. I didn't recognize him. He's an 8-pointer. Nothing, you know, huge, but you know, he looks like a buck we'd be proud to shoot. So hopefully he comes out. My guess is, with all this activity that was showing up on that camera at that plot, that there must have been a hot fawn, estrus fawn, in that area somewhere, because there was a lot of buck activity in daylight up in that area. So this is the time of year for that. Normally 28 days after the primary rut, it'll cycle again for any does that weren't bred during the primary rut. Well, that kind of puts it into the time frame where, you know, some of the fawns are starting to come into estrus for the first time. So that might be what happened, or possibly there's a doe up in there that didn't get bred on the first round for whatever reason. But that's what we're banking on. We're hoping that that same 8-pointer will pop out again tonight, or maybe, you know, another buck that we haven't seen before. Or, you know, with some luck, maybe the Jordan buck, the deer we've been hunting all season, makes his first daylight appearance in that area. And I don't know how many, more than a year probably. So that's it's a bit of a long shot because the wind is going to be blowing right straight into the plot. So we have to get lucky. We have to keep the windows closed and you know, hope that we can pull off the shot when the time comes. Should be fun, you know, something different. We really have nothing to lose since there are so few days left in the first segment of the archery season, and we might as well take a swing for the fence. Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails is brought to you by Redneck Blinds, Code of Silence Apparel, Hunt Stand Pro Whitetail App, Whitetail Institute, Research Equals Results, B3 Releases, XO Broadheads, Exact Sights, Muddy Outdoors Tree Stands, Stealth Cam Trail Cameras, and Hoyt. Got just less than an hour left in our hunt today. We have not seen any deer other than that one that we saw that lens is messed up. No? You're messed up. See how blurry you are?
Oh yeah, what the heck?
I thought it was the lens. It's you. You're blurry.
I'm out of focus.
We saw that one doe when we were coming in. I think it was a doe. I don't think it was a fawn. But while we have, boy, that sun is just getting ready to go behind that cloud bank. It's going to get dark fast now. While we've got some time here, I want to talk about this second rut and how to hunt that whether it's worth hunting it. What does that really mean? I guess I don't know all of the biology behind it. I don't know what percentage of does come back around again. I think it depends a lot on the buck to doe ratio. If you've got a lot more does than bucks, you're going to have some does that didn't get bred on the primary rut cycle. They're going to come back in 28 days later, which is going to be pretty soon. And then a certain percentage of the fawns in any high quality range are going to come into estrus their first year as half-year-olds. We see that generally about this time frame. I'm not sure that it's quite as predictable exactly when that cycle comes through, but I would have to say that it's either going to be 28 days after the primary roughly, or 28 more days after the second rut, because some of these fawns probably don't get bred until January. So it kind of creates a lot of stress for bucks if they've got to be in that rut mode for 3 months. But the way that they counteract that, in my experience, is they encounter these second cycle does a lot of times in the areas where they feed. So the bucks are going there anyway, the does are going there, and they sort of cross paths at the feeding areas. And I don't know how much cruising takes place in the mornings during the second rut. I really don't have any idea because I don't hunt that way. It's just usually too cold. And then here in the state of Iowa, that's generally falls within the firearm season. So we don't have really good access to what would be considered the second rut, from a bow hunting standpoint. I don't know, like I said, all the biology behind it, but I do know that when you've got a late second cycle hot doe, or a first cycle estrus fawn, you're going to see a lot more activity in the feeding areas when that happens, and you'll see bucks coming out, bumping them around, and I don't know what else takes place, like I said, back in the cover, but that's what we were hoping for tonight. And there's still some chance that we'll see that. I was hoping that whatever drew them out yesterday evening would do the same thing tonight, but so far we just haven't seen it. 45 minutes roughly, maybe a little bit more than that of camera light, but like I said, this sun is going fast behind the clouds, so my guess is we're probably going to be cut off a little bit early tonight. Is that good? There you go. I guess we'll do one last update before we close out here. Shortly after my previous update, this pretty nice 4-year-old, I think he's a 4-year-old, he's a narrow racked 8-pointer. We've seen him a couple of times this year, had a lot of pictures of him here and there on the farm. He was out there chasing a doe, so it kind of supports our theory that there's something going on up here. And there were other deer out on the field looking behind on the backside of the ridge where we couldn't see. So there must have been another chase going on there. It would have been fun to have them right in front of the blind so we could have had it up close and personal, but I do think we probably caught most of it out the back door. We had 2 cameras with us, so Carson was able to film out the back door and show you what was out on the field. So the trick now, unless they come back, I think we might be okay sneaking out of here. We're going in the opposite direction of where those deer left. But that's going to be the real trick now, is sneaking through the sorghum rows and getting, you know, back to the scooters and getting out of here. But I think we can pull it off. We'll be back again tomorrow, and Jordan's going to be here, and hopefully I can find a spot for her to get a shot at a nice, well, she'd be happy to shoot anything at this point, but it'd be nice to get her on a buck before the season's over. So come back again and join us tomorrow for the next episode of Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails. And remember to always dream big.